let's see if I can adjust the light without getting campfire glow. There we go. Mood lighting here on C is for Crone. It's 3 days later, and I've been dealing with pain. My name is Ray, just in case you're new. Sitting here in the Crone cottage, and yes, I still haven't done anything with that. And that's because thoughts about home keep flipping sometimes. And I discovered why tonight watching Living Big and Tiny. Right? Yeah, Living Big in a Tiny House. Now, compared to some of the houses on there, I have a large living space, and for one person, yeah, it is quite a lot of space. I have a feeling once I just put the final decision on everything, that the space will come into its own. Now, I'm sitting here with my cup of tea here, just plain old green tea right at the moment. Kind of just dove into it. I was going to start this video with, hey, come and join me with a cup of tea. Or go and get yourself a cup of something and come and sit and we'll have a conversation. But I kind of just dove right in. I had someone comment once that it was like a little bit like hanging with a friend. That was, and I was inspiring. So I want to kind of continue to go with that feeling as I'm changing the channel and changing the way I'm doing things here on my channel here on YouTube, and that kind of thing. So that seems to be a running theme with everything that I'm doing. One of the things that's catching up with me is which is exactly how much my life has changed with his passing. There's still part of me that checks what day it is, because my brain's still thinking we're going to go to dialysis. My husband actually died more from heart attacks than his renal failure, but he was so full of, it wasn't working for him. The hemodialysis wasn't working for him in a way that he needed, and lack of lifestyle changes and everything. It took his life. So, but anyway, so from September to now, and I'm in that week, it's the anniversary week of everything that happened in September that I had to go through. And then there'll be another anniversary at the near the end of the month. And I've discovered I'm reliving all those as each month comes around. There are these significant dates. And reliving lifestyle every single day. But my lifestyle has changed. So, what now? It's no wonder I can't find balance. If I'm still in that period of, I hate the year, that first year, because it's never a first year of grief. Roll my eyes. Never just one year, right? It's anyone who's lost somebody significant knows that it goes beyond the year. Kirk and I both found in 2017 a first that neither one of us, well, that neither one of us were thinking about, that just popped up when we got married in 2017. Neither one of us had any parents. And so it's like there's these important people that share our life, significant part of our life, that weren't going to be at a very significant event in our lives. So we had to deal that re-spark grief journey for both of us, because it would have been very important for both of us to have our mothers there. And you know, I was estranged from my father, so like no big deal that he wasn't there. But it was very important to Kirk to have that sense of dad at the wedding, and that we just couldn't bring in the wedding. It just wasn't going to happen. Thank heavens his grandmother was still alive, his mom's mom. But anyways, so I'm sitting here my cup of Tetley green tea, which is too hot to drink right at the moment, but my cup of tea in my living room in the Crone Cottage, to which the channel will be renamed, if I can rename. They'll allow me to rename it. And as you know, in my not feeling good today, feeling good this week, my 50th birthday's on Sunday, just discovered that tomorrow is recycling. And I have a pile of cardboard that we pulled out of, that Rob pulled, my lovely assistant pulled out of when he was pulling the insulation down, that should go out there. Trying to make up my mind whether I really want to deal with it, or just wait till next Thursday, because it's been raining, so everything is like soaking wet. I might just leave it. And there's a truth in my life right at the moment with grief and everything. My lifestyle is grief depression right at the moment. I hate it. It sucks. But what you gonna do? What I do anyways, is now I breathe. I'm not pushing. I know stuff needs to be done. But I just emotionally think, for my own mental health, no. No pushing. I think I talked about paying attention to what my body was saying in a previous video. I have to go back on here and discover whether the previous bit of footage I found on my phone here is a video I actually put out or whether or not I have a video that needs to go out. So anyways, what I've discovered earlier today, was watching tiny homes, going back to there. And I'll pause just like, if you ever want to just grab and go something, don't be afraid to pause me. Go get your cup of tea. Take a moment and go get your cup of tea or whatever, if you haven't done so. What has occurred to me today watching tiny homes is that with all of this paying attention to the way life was before, I have no lifestyle now. That lifestyle with my husband, who is now deceased, doesn't exist anymore. And that means I've lost interest in things. It means that my enthusiasm for other things is non-existent. I have far too much time on my hands that I'm not occupying with things that would bring me joy. It was very much a rushed and hurried lifestyle trying to get to dialysis. Whereas now with no dialysis, that's why I said I have too much time on my hands. Sometimes I either A, don't know what to do with my time, because I do have all this time. And anyone who has lost their job or whatever will know what I'm talking about. That sort of blank space. You have a blank canvas of all day to fit whatever you want in it, but you're still disorganized and you don't get it all done. And it comes down to getting used to the new lifestyle, the new life set in motion that goes with it. So it really occurred to me that I don't have one, that I'm kind of living in this sort of flip-flop. Yeah, I got lots of time, but I really don't, because I filled all that time with more projects. Gardening, you know, things I want to be doing, things I need to be doing, etc., 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 because I had all this time to do stuff. The big factor, though, is I neither have the motivation, the energy, or feel well enough to be tackling all these projects. So, on that note, now I'm thinking, the last couple of days has been thinking about who am I really? Like, what do I really want to be doing? Am I really a crafter? And I don't think so. I think I'm a crafter, but not a handicrafter. I don't live there. Crafts kind of flow as something I feel like doing in any given moment. It's the same with the crochet and the knitting. So to sit there and really even revisit an Etsy shop, it puts a lot of pressure on me to try and achieve something that in reality I'm in no place to be doing. It doesn't mean that I won't have stuff for sale. Now I just need to figure out a different place. What am I doing? Because I still want to try and do patterns, but do I do the patterns to modify to fit me? Or I figure out what I'm doing, so I'm not just creating project lists and setting myself up for failure. That is the big thing going into my birthday here on Sunday, is quit creating a life where I set myself up for failure, so that I always have some reason to feel bad about myself. And if I'm not always under stress from over projects and feeling like a failure, then the one thing that comes back is I've been saying for years, I don't have time to write because all this life is in the way. And this is actually very sad, because many years ago, about 23 years ago, yeah, almost 23 years ago, I guess, where does the time go? I had, in a job finding course, had an opportunity to just have a pause for a moment. The lady that was running the class said, don't worry about anything. If money was not a factor, you didn't have bills and everything, and you just could do whatever you want because there was nothing else going on, and you know, and money wasn't this thing, like you didn't have to make money at it, what would you do? And always, ever since then, and what I've always ever wanted to do was write. I am a poet and a philosopher by nature, so it makes no sense that I don't live in my joy of that. And I got lucky today, and I was able to express some grief emotions via writing some poetry. just a little bit of writing. What I'd love to do is take that writing to that one step further than what I have done, which is printer self-published. There is a book, a kid's book out there that I did, and a few copies of some other thing that I did. I think I've mentioned the one that I did when in tea time. But anyways, I would really like to be a writer, author that gets paid to do what I'm doing. And I'm not a freelance artist. You know, I look at all these things. I have access to stuff, and it's just not there. So, thinking about filling my time more with writing than painting, knitting, crocheting, crafting. I love doing videos. I love taking pictures. So there's an opportunity to blend all of it into this really interesting creative pursuit that I now have all this time for, because I do not have a second body in my life. I do have a house that needs to be focused on, but I don't, and my cats. And that was another thing, is the creating of new lifestyle, like a new family aesthetic, family idea, is that I have these beings that I'm responsible for, just like people are responsible for their children. I chose to have them, unlike some people with their children. Sometimes it's like, wow, okay, I have this now. The fish actually felt more like that, but I think I can sort of cycle them into a little bit more purposefulness in my life than just having tanks sitting there with things I gotta look after. Maybe with the idea of reorganizing in my mind how I view my lifestyle to be, what's really going on, then that would be cool. But yes, the first step is to basically take all the project lists, throw them out, and then start from the beginning and say, okay, what do I really want to be doing today? Because I know that with the holes, the little bit of holes, I have holes in the roof and everything like that, I've just basically, because I can't deal, just stopped with the upstairs. I don't care if Rob comes over to do anything anymore. The buckets are there. I've got 3 months before it's going to start getting really cold to wrap my head around that. So, cheers. My life is actually better than a lot of people's, so I count my blessings for that. But at 18.5 minutes, it's time to wrap up this chat. Thank you for joining me and listening to my bibble babble, and I do really appreciate all my subscribers and anyone who takes the time to sit and even watch part of my video, which means if you don't watch the whole thing, you don't get the thanks. But anyways, yes, I will figure it out. That is the one thing that I know as a problem solver, is one day, boom, the light bulb will go on, and everything will just, in some areas of my life, will be like dominoes. And then tick, 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 and boom, everything will work out. So that's my positive sort of energy that I'm throwing out there, is that when things seem their worst, they may actually be their worst, but that doesn't mean that they're always going to stay the worst. Sometimes we just need to sit and have a cup of tea and breathe. So, until next time, I hope you have a good day, a good week, a good weekend, and find plenty of reasons to smile. Bye.